welcome to the third episode of Up the Villa podcast. So we've just come away from our second game, 2-1 losers against Chelsea. Going back to the first game, the mixed emotions from myself and a lot of the Villa fans was it was quite flat. Emotions from what I've just watched, bitterly disappointed. You know, all through the weekend we've watched Watford, Brighton, Bournemouth, West Ham, and it was only Brighton that came up with the win against Arsenal, which was quite unexpected. So it gave us with a great platform to go into this game and try and climb ourselves out the relegation zone and really start to climb the league and play with some confidence. I was really looking forward to the game just for the fact that I knew what was at stake, and I had that little bit of belief that maybe we could cause the upset. Chelsea hadn't played a game yet, so I was kind of thinking, well, we've been there, we've gone through the emotions, and we've done it. And I just come away now feeling so disappointed in what I've just watched. It was flat, it was lacklustre, it was lifeless. There was no desire, there was no passion. Hardly put a tackle in. You know, those are all the first things that you look at when you see a team in the relegation zone. Those aspects of any team down the bottom, it's got to be a given. That's what you least expect. Maybe that's what you least expect from any football team. You know, so, you know, we went in at half time 1-0 up against the run of play, but you'd take it, and it was just so frustrating because you knew what was going to happen. You knew we'd sit back. Chelsea got the goal, and then it was just a matter of time before we started doing our normal changes. El Ghazi, Trezeguet, Davies off, Samatta on, Nakamba on. Those aren't going to change the game, and like I said in the last podcast, they're not what's going to keep us in this league. You know, I had my frustration on the last game that Jack was still out wide. Again, he was out wide again. No impact. You know, he's picking the ball up at right wing back at times, which was very frustrating. He's hardly touching the ball. For me, I think going back to the start of the year, we all called for 5 at the back, and now I feel like we need to be playing with 2 strikers and get Jack in centrally. We've just got to get him more involved. He's the heartbeat of our team. He's our best player, and if we're saying he's going to be picking up the ball at right wing back, it's just not good. It's really frustrating. You know, the lack of belief is a worry. I thought we'd have had this break and been able to regroup and go again, and it just seems like it's back to same old Villa. Disappointing. We don't believe in our own ability. We don't believe that we can do it. And it just worried me that towards the end of the game as well, you know, again, it's petering out. It's there for us to get something from the game, and we're just doing, you know, we're just playing, going through the emotions again, which is just really disappointing. And for a fan, I'm coming away thinking we left something out there. We left something out on that pitch. And if I was a player, I too would be thinking I've left something out there. You know, and it's got to change. We've got to start fighting. So they're just my overriding emotions. Bitterly disappointed. Obviously, I still think we can stay up, but the games are ticking by, games are running out, and it's just very disappointing the way we played today. So we're going to get straight into the callers now, and then we'll see what they've got to say. So we're joined by our first caller of the night, Luke. Disappointing performance. How do you think it went?
I think it's quite a difficult one, to be honest, Luke, because you know, you look at Twitter and there's all this hoo-ha that we're relegated, but the bottom line is we're playing Chelsea. It's not like, you know, we were expected to get anything today. I think what's most disappointing though is what seems to be the lack of the fight. But teams like Chelsea make you play that way, where they make you sit back and not able to pass the ball out, and you just want to boot it up. And then there's been other performances this season where we sloppily passed it out and conceded from it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So it's a catch-22. You know, if you want to go and, you know, play Samatta and Davies up top and play the 4-4-2 and look attacking, and then you go and lose 5-0, and then you've got X amount of goal difference. Yeah. You know, I think we are like still a point behind, but I think the goal difference is still -3 worse off than West Ham. So it's not people, you got to look at the positives really.
Yeah.
We're still a point behind. We've got eight more cup finals or 8 semi-finals if you want to refer it to like that to go. But what a massive week coming up.
I know. I mean, to be fair, like what you've said, are we overreacting? We're a point from say 2 with goal difference from safety, but it's just what worried me today was the weekend's games had gone in our favour again. The teams above us both had lost, so it sort of always feels like we've got a perfect opportunity to climb the table again and try and make that advantage. And I think that's what's most disappointing for me, that was what was at stake, yet we still played quite poor. And
I think it's difficult though, because I can understand, when Smith comes out and he says, "Oh, we'll play attacking football," and then you kind of see a performance like that.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of being a bit repetitive, but if you're in a relegation fight, unfortunately, sometimes you try and just grind out results and grind out those 1-0 wins, really.
Yeah.
And it's like the Sheffield United game, we had that luck with the goal, no goal situation. And then that first half, I thought, is that luck coming back? Because we looked quite compact in the first half defensively. And I thought, defensively, we looked quite solid again. And then we went and got that slice of luck. But first half, I was speaking to my, Seb that was on the other night, and I was saying, you look at it, Chelsea, even though they had, loads of possession, they created just as many chances as Villa did in the first half in terms of testing the keeper. But it's just the quality that shone through. Villa haven't got that quality, you coming up with likes of Conte, and then if you look at Chelsea's bench, and when you can bring on 5 substitutes, and then you can bring on Ross Barkley and Pulisic, and then Villa can just turn to the normal substitutions like Trezeguet. I personally think he brought Davis off too soon.
Oh yeah,
as well.
definitely.
I think we didn't get that hold up play like we did in the first half.
No. I just think again though, we weren't coming up against a banging form Chelsea though, were we? That have been blowing teams away. It was sort of, I just feel like we've left stuff out on the pitch again. Whereas, and I hate to think that that's what we've done, because even going towards the end of the game, we're still not like pumping balls in the box, or we're not going for it. It seems like the changes are still pretty similar, like for like. There's no system changes. We're not moving Grealish around the pitch that much. We're just keeping him out wide. So in that front, I thought in the first game we looked better defensively, and that's what I think we have improved on. But I just feel like going forward, I don't think we have.
No.
So, I mean, moving forward, so into the Newcastle game, where do you see the changes? How can we get these wins?
Well, I think against teams like Newcastle and maybe even Wolves next week, that is when you go 2 up top. I think that's what I was trying to say, is that against the Chelsea, sometimes you can't leave yourself too open when you're in this battle.
Yeah.
But I think against the Newcastle, where yes, they got that good result today, but it was 0-0, and then they had the red card, and then the defensive mistake by Basham, and it could have gone either way up until then.
Yeah.
But Steve Bruce likes to kind of play defensive football, as everybody knows. So this could be a game that you play Jack in the middle, get in that space, and get him to run at those players. But obviously, then you've just got to be wary of the pace on the counter attack from Max.
And it slightly worries me that we are allowing teams to do that cross-field ball again, and it always seems like it sort of sets up Chelsea's attack today. So many times, if we left that Saint Maxim out wide, he's just going to run at our fullback all day long, isn't he? So that's one approach that we've definitely got to look at. So were you impressed with Douglas Luiz, or do you think?
I think Douglas Luiz has been. I think the lockdown's done him great, to be fair. Yeah. But defensively, you look back at the beginning of the season against Bournemouth, where he let that ball go. I don't know if it was a lack of communication at
Yeah.
the time because there was the language barrier. Because even McGinn came out to me and said that they struggle
Yeah.
to interact. So, and I think defensively he's good, but at the same time, you look at his delivery today. He's
Yeah.
got that attacking threat that he can have.
Yeah,
So,
definitely.
is it the system? Because he's kind of been more suited in a defensive role rather than a midfield role. That's why I think maybe if you went, but then even if you go 4-4-2, do you do it as a diamond? So then, but then who do you leave out? Because whoever you leave out, you leave Horahan out and you lose the set pieces.
Yeah.
Because no disrespect, that's what's been lacking from Villa this season, and it probably proved that first half, where the first minute where Davis won the free kick and the set piece. I don't even know what they decided to do with that one. But against Sheffield United, every single time Horahan had a corner delivery, it was dangerous.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, sometimes those are the the attacks that win you the points in grinding out the results that we need at the moment. So I don't really. I think we're all a bit clueless at the moment as to what the way forward. I still think. Sorry.
I think we're all just the same, just a bit flat and just a bit, we're just not seeing a sort of direction in which we're going, are we? If somebody said to me, "What's your style of play?" Well, at the minute it seems to be Mings booting the ball upfield and it and hope. I mean, that honestly, that's the only tactic that I could say that we're trying to implement at the minute. So it's just disappointing. So can I get a score prediction for the Newcastle game? Are you confident? Do you think we can get anything from it?
I think it all depends on how Smith sets us up. If we do set up with the right system and with the right personnel, we can go there and get. Newcastle are a team that can be had at the end of the day. Yeah. So if we go there with an attacking mentality, then I'd say we could pick up a 2-1 win. I can't see us not conceding at the moment. That's the only problem. It's one of them that you always have to outscore the opposition. So I'll stick my neck on the line and say 2-1, and we'll be 16th come Wednesday, because I think West Ham will lose at Tottenham and Bournemouth will lose against Wolves. So
yeah, that'll be perfect. Right, mate. Thank you for your call, and I'll speak to you soon.
Problem,
Thank you. So we're joined by our second caller of the night, Ben. How do you feel like the game went?
Tough one, isn't it, really? I mean, we'd been lucky to get anything from the game, really. I mean, Chelsea, top four. But the way the game goes, you 1-0 up at half-time. You didn't deserve to, you 1-0 up at half-time. Yeah. Rode our luck a little bit. Backs against the wall job. But get the lead. Second half, I think, we'll come out and build on it.
Yeah.
Typical Villa, isn't it? Typical Villa.
Yes.
Sleeping, falling apart. You get your hopes up and then just falls apart, as always. But we was never realistically going to get anything from the game, but it's just the way it was. The way it progressed, you was a bit gutted. But them games won't define our season. But
no. I mean, I just felt going into it, it was sort of set up a little bit for us to try and come out and go for it and try and get out the relegation zone. I just feel a little bit disappointed that we didn't offer enough for me, and that's a slight worry. And I know we're playing against a really good side, but I just feel really disappointed. How do you feel like we did play? Do you feel we were any better than we were before?
No, not if I'm being honest. No, but ball didn't seem to stick up top with Davis. He wasn't getting a lot of support. And I thought as the game progressed on, if we were going to try and nick a point, you'd leave Davis on, throw Samatta on, try and nick something. I mean, I know Jota had the chance of his first kick, but that was literally it, wasn't it? So just want to see a bit more. There wasn't a lot of urgency.
No.
Chelsea were playing one-touch football. The ball was constantly going wide. There was a man free all the time. That's how I felt. But
watching Villa at the minute, do you feel like we look like we're in the relegation zone and we look like we're fighting to survive?
No, we don't look like we've got the fight in us at the minute. Not today, anyway. Yeah. I mean, we should be all guns blazing. We should be going for it, trying to get 1-2 goals. I mean, we got a goal today, but it was a great ball by Luis, to be fair.
Yeah.
And Harris did well to react and get the goal. But you want to see us push on, keep going, keep trying to get a second, get the third. I know it's Chelsea, but you don't seem to do it. Even against Sheffield United, there wasn't much pushing on and thinking, well, we're going to scrap it. We have to scrap. You don't seem to be up for it at the minute.
So
I thought the break might do us good. But
do you feel like that's just a general belief in the squad then, that they just don't believe they can do it?
The way the season's gone, I feel that that's become the norm. Because beginning part of the season, we're in the Premier League. We had that bit of buzz about us. I mean, the Everton game at Villa Park, where that was buzzing. The Newcastle game, we did well there. Norwich away, when we absolutely smashed them. You felt like we had them performances in us to go and get a result.
Yeah.
I don't feel like they believe in themselves to go and get a result at the minute.
I mean, that's slightly the way I look at Villa, to be fair. That we look at the games where we have played really well, and we have played some real good football. And albeit some of those games that we lost, like against Arsenal, we were quite dynamic that day. Like you say, Norwich, we were good. And then you in the back of your mind, that's what we've got. We can play that type of way, but it seems like the way we play now, it's like we can either be attacking and we concede loads, or we can be quite defensive, quite passive, and offer not much going forward. And that's the stage that we're at now. So like you alluded to, and we said it on the last episode, the gap between Davis and the next attacking player, they're so far apart. And we're trying to spring attacks and we are playing counter-attacking football, like today against Chelsea, but we're so far apart from each other that we just get like swamped by the opposition players. Do you feel like Grealish's position needs to change?
This argument's been happening all season. I mean, when he first went out on the left, he did well. And he's come back inside, he did well. At the minute, he just looks a bit on his own. He's not getting much support from anyone. And McGinn coming back will hopefully help him going forward. But the first two games back, it hasn't really happened as of yet. Yeah. But still hope that could happen. But at the minute, Grealish looks a bit fed up, looks a bit lost in the middle. Yeah. Well, not in the middle, but where he's playing. Yeah. You just want there's a little bit of spark from somewhere. It just doesn't seem like it could happen at the minute. Yeah. So, but Newcastle away, the Bruce factor again. It's something else to try and go and get a win. We sort of back down. I mean, cliche, but we can't go.
Thinking about the Newcastle game that we played at the start of the season, I thought that was the most dominant we've been all season. Yeah. I thought we completely ran that game. So, I mean, hopefully if we can bring that type of level of performance back again. But it just at the minute seems like we're still like in the dark with it all. We just don't know, do we? Like, as a fact, we can't go into a game thinking, you know what, we're going to turn up and we're going to be brilliant today. It's like what Villa are turning up. Like, and that's such a frustration as a fan because you just don't know, do you? And I think that the one thing that I keep thinking about is like the teams above us just aren't getting away from us, are they? And it's
before the lockdown, it was happening, wasn't it? They were getting results when we needed a favour from someone. It just wasn't happening. Yeah. It's just the way the season's going. I think
it's like, how many chances are we going to get to if we'd have won today, we'd have been out of the relegation zone. If we'd have
won West Ham game at the end of the season is looking like the one to stay up, isn't it?
A couple of weeks ago, I was thinking, I hope it's done by then. But I'm thinking now,
that'll be the game.
We level on points and we can survive on goal difference, I think I'd take that.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Mate, I'd survive on goals at the minute, but I think we're going to have to score a few. That's the problem.
Yeah, that's the problem, isn't it? But so we'll do it again, won't we? We'll follow them on. When do we play Newcastle? I'm not sure when it is in the week. Wednesday.
Yeah,
we'll do it again.
It's like 2 days, and then we play again. It's like
that's the thing. You can quickly put them to bed as well. That's the thing as well. That hopefully.
So would you make any changes?
I thought El Ghazi, he wasn't really doing much today. I mean, didn't touch the ball for the first 10 minutes, and when he did touch the ball, he lost control. Yeah. And he gave away a silly free kick in the corner. He's just not effective enough. He's got it in him. That's what's frustrating about El Ghazi. You know it's there, but he just can't produce it when we want him to, or as much as he needs to. But then again, who's you replace him with? Trezeguet? He'll run all day for you, but that quality's not there. So
at the minute, all we're getting is Trezeguet for El Ghazi, Samatta for Davis, Nakamba for Hurahan. Sorry, but they're not gonna. they're not going to win you the game, are they? Not going to change the game.
No. But then we got a set piece towards the end, and free kick taker who ran in on the pitch. Then Trezeguet takes it straight the keeper, so it's one of them. What you do?
Terrible. So can I get a score prediction for the Newcastle game?
Well, we're going to concede, aren't we? So 2-1 Villa.
2-1 Villa. Okay, before we go, I just want to let everybody know that the branding behind this whole podcast is down to this man in front of me. I just want to say thank you for everything that you've done. You've been brilliant.
Not a problem, mate. Not a
your
problem.
designs are amazing. So
thank
everybody
you.
follow HR Design. These guys are legends. Okay,
Thanks,
mate.
Appreciate that.
Thank you. No worries.
Yes, mate.
So we're now on to our third caller of the night. He's making his third appearance, so he's doing something right. How are you? You okay?
Yeah, my hat trick.
Yes.
Just as we were just saying off there, then just frustrated, Luke. It's just one step forward. We thought we'd done all right against Sheffield. There were some positives to take, but today I can't see any positives.
No.
I thought if we dropped any deeper, we'd be in the Aston Tavern beer garden. We were that deep. And poor Keenan Davis, we offered nothing to him. We wasn't even looking for him. We was just pinging high balls up. He was fighting a losing battle. And we talked in that podcast about the front three being isolated, but I think the whole team individually were isolated. There was no teamwork in that game today.
No, definitely not. And I think I don't want to have all my callers talking about being really negative, because we want to be positive, but I think on today's performance, it was, my buzzword for it is now disappointing, because I know there's a golfing class in this Premier League. I know that there's top teams and there's teams at the bottom, but it's the effort for me. And it's just a worry that it just looks like we're not trying at times. Where do we go from this? Because we just seem to be going to be more disjointed again.
Yeah, you're right. I think it's not so much the results, is it? Chelsea can turn up and beat anybody on their day.
Yeah.
They're a good quality side. So the result isn't too disappointing. It's the manner of our performance. There is literally no positives to take from it.
No.
Going forward, I know a lot of people are saying, let's get two up front. I can't see Dean Smith going for that just yet. On paper, it looks great. I think them two up front and getting Grealish. We need to get Grealish in the game.
Yeah.
We need to get him firing fast. Out on that wing, he looks lost out there. He didn't look mentally. He didn't look in the right place today.
Yeah, I mean, I said on my last podcast to Seb, the fact that having Grealish out wide on the left, him being isolated, was a worry in that game. And today we saw it again. At one point he was picking the ball up at wing back, and it's like, mate, we need you that end of the pitch, not down here.
No.
Is it a trust thing? Does he feel like he's got to take the whole responsibility on himself? Does he not trust his other midfielders, his other defenders? Is that what the problem is? I'm just baffled by it, really, because where does Grealish do the damage? He does the damage down the other end of the pitch, right?
Yeah.
If you're saying to me, Grealish has got to come and pick the ball up off the right back or the centre back or the central midfielder, we got big problems if that's the case. Because
yeah.
We're not going to get anywhere. So I just don't know what he's going to do. I think I've just read some of his interviews saying, we showed great effort in the last 15 minutes. And I'm thinking, where was the 75?
Yeah. Exactly. There seems to be no game plan today, did there, Luke? I know, I can see he's wanting to keep it tight, isn't he?
Yeah.
A few times we've gone all guns blazing and we've been picked off and found out. But I don't know, there just didn't seem to be any game plan. And when Smith come in, I felt confident every game we had a plan.
Yeah.
Whether we win or lose, we was around some philosophy. And everyone knew what they were doing. But today, it didn't feel like a team game at all.
And I think this has changed Smith's mentality as well, because I always remember at the start of the season, I think it was when he was sitting down with Perslow and he was saying, we're going to go for it. Every game we play, we're going to go for it, right?
Mm-hmm.
The last game I think we went for it was Norwich away. That was probably the last game. I feel like we just went for it.
Mm-hmm.
Today, that's not a Dean Smith managerial performance today.
No, far from the idea of his game that he turned up at Villa Park with, and we all brought into last season. That team that took us up last season are looking a far better team than what we've got now, and I'd much rather go in the last 8 games with that team than this.
It just feels it feels to me like we've got a dog on a lead. And we're not letting go of the lead, So he's going to the park, and we're still walking him around the park. That's what it feels like. I want him to just let him go and just go and chase all the rabbits on the park or something. Do you know what I mean?
I know.
Them down. It's just frustrating because if we'd have won today, right, we'd have been 16th, maybe 17th on goal difference, whatever.
Did you see at half time when they put as it stands now?
Yeah.
And we're within 16. How good did that look?
But I just thought there's no point looking at that. No point looking at it because you know what we like. So bitterly disappointed. Keenan, again though, is that poor management just thinking, mate, you were brilliant against Sheffield United. More of the same. And it's like, You've got to be clever in this league with your approach on how you approach games. If you keep doing the same thing over and over and over again, the golfing class of players are too clever to just think, all he's got is he's going to hold it up. Well, stop him from doing that then, and our game plan's gone. So moving on to Newcastle then, are you confident?
Well, he's got to make a few changes, isn't he? But what we change, I don't know. If he keeps the same tactic, it's only going to be probably Trezeguet and El Ghazi swap. He'll probably swap Horahan for Nakamba. Almo will probably come in for. So I think he's got to do a bit of a tactical shake-up and try and surprise us like he did against Burnley. I'm not saying go for it at the back and do that tactic, but something. We've got to get Jack in the game. We've got to get some attempts on goal. So, and I do not want to see Steve Bruce smirking face if they beat us.
That crossfield ball worries me against Newcastle. With that Saint Maxim just tearing us.
Look how Chelsea just went left to right, and totally wore us down. They're pinging balls in.
When you watch that, you're just thinking, is that how easy it is to get by our 18-yard box? For us, it's huff and puff and effort to even get anywhere near that stage of someone's goal. But cool. Can I just grab a score prediction, mate?
I think we'll turn it around. This is the first time we've done the podcast straight after the game, so the emotions are raw. So hopefully tomorrow, when the dust settles, we'll feel a bit better. We go confidently into the Newcastle game, and let's go up and do them 2-0.
Cool. Thanks, mate.
All right, mate.
Soon.
No worries, pal.
Bye. So on our last caller of the night, Seb, how did you feel the game went?
I've had some time to dwell over it because I'm on quite late, and I'm tired. I'm really tired of this, man. We get ourselves into hopeful positions against big clubs and we just throw it away. We stick 10, 11 men behind the ball, and I know that's what you've got to do to try and get points against these teams, but it just doesn't work. Liverpool, all these teams, Chelsea, Arsenal, we sit 10 men behind the ball and we just lose it and throw it away.
I think I've read a little bit of Smith's interview after the game, and he mentioned that you can't go for it in the first 20 minutes and throw the game away. And then he mentioned that in the last 15 minutes we showed a lot of desire and belief, and it just all those things are okay to say, But for me, when we've got 8 games to go now, and we're still in the relegation zone, and we've played today as if we've left stuff out on the field. You know, in my opinion, I don't feel like we showed enough. Then that's a slight worry in our situation, and I think we've all been quite negative tonight. But I think we all love Aston Villa, and we want to survive. Having to watch them perform like that, it's hard to watch. How do you feel like we can go into Newcastle now and get the win?
We haven't got time left. We haven't got time left for good performances. You know, it's getting down to the business end of the season now, and it is do or die. You know, we've got a place in the Premier League on the line here, and I love Smith to bits, man. You know, after everything he did, after everything he's done for us, I love him. I do, I really do. But he can't be coming out and saying, "Oh yeah, we played well, just not well enough."
Yeah.
You know, that's not good enough. You can't not get anything. You have to fight for everything you get now. With how many games left? 8 games remaining. We've got to, you know, switch it up, do something.
I'm with you. I'm totally with you, and I think I said to the previous caller, when Dean Smith came in and he spoke to Purslow after we'd got promoted, and he was saying, we're going to go for it. We're going to try and win every single game that we play. Over the course of the season, that Dean Smith is no longer with us. We've gone from having like a Dean Smith to now a Steve Bruce, basically. That's how I feel, and that's how I feel our approach is. And I've always said I would stick by Dean Smith because of what he did, and he got us promoted. But the way we're playing at the minute, I just don't like it. I don't see how are we going to get the wins? You know, it's like saying, okay, we've got 8 games to go, right? If we'd have won today, we'd have been 17th. We'd have been out of the relegation zone. It would have been all in our own hands. Yeah? So it was all in our own hands. If we won enough games, we'd stay up. Are Watford and West Ham and Bournemouth going to keep allowing us to have these weekends where they lose and we could win and we'll go above them? Because they're going to start winning soon. And 8 games becomes 4 games. And you've got 4 games to go, but you've got to get 3 wins. It's just a real difficult one. So we spoke about Grealish last time. I was probably a little bit critical of him being on the left. And I think his position's got to switch up now. How do you feel about that?
He's in a really tough position because he's playing with players that he knows isn't good enough for where he wants to be. Definitely. Aston Villa can't fulfill his ambitions anymore. And I said it last week, we're going to lose him. We are going to lose him. You know, some people are saying he didn't look up for it. He wants to go. I don't believe that. I just believe he's got so much piled on his back at the moment with the incompetence of the players around him. He's left with this massive, massive workload, and he just can't lift us from where we are. You know, it's up to the players responsible on that pitch to play alongside him and to play his strengths. Excuse me, but he's so knackered and tired. Even after this break, he's filled with championship players at best.
I think you're right. We've seen today he's picking up the ball at right wing back. Yeah, he's still picking it off a centre back. He's picking it off a central midfielder that stood right next to him. He feels like he's got to do everything, and he doesn't trust the players that are around him. He doesn't trust them.
100%. No way.
And that's hindering us. But I do feel like maybe if he was more central and he'd been central to everything, we might see him a little bit more and producing more, basically. I just feel like the El Ghazi and Grealish on each side doesn't work. It's just not working. The substitutions, they don't work, do they? It's like if you're Frank Lampard, right, and you're preparing for the match, and you're thinking, right, 65 minutes, El Ghazi's coming off, they're going to bring Trezeguet on. After that substitution, they're going to take off their striker and put another striker on. They're going to give a little bit more legs in midfield. They're going to bring the Camber on. Now, that's okay if you're a Sunday League manager because, okay, a worldie could be coming on, right? But preparation and knowing what's about to happen, it's just not good enough, I don't think. I really just... And I think that's why we're in this position now, because I think Smith has lost faith in what he's trying to do. Grealish has lost faith in the players that he's got. We're just a mismatch all over the pitch now. And it's like, you know, we started off with one thing and then we went 5 at the back and now we've gone 4 at the back. What are we going to do now? We're going to go 2 up front next game. Then what? What do we do if we go 2 up front and then that fails against Newcastle?
I can tell you're furious. I really can. Look, I don't blame you. I cannot blame you at all because I think that's the feeling amongst most Villa fans today. You know, it's just, I don't think it's fury. I think it's let down.
Yeah.
Almost.
Definitely. I think if the players showed the emotion that I'm showing on this podcast right now,
yes, yeah, exactly.
Relegation zone.
Oh no, 100%.
It's like you own a business, and your business is going bust, right? It's going bust, and if you don't do anything, it'll go bust anyway. Maybe save your business, change things a little bit, and I think that's what we need to do. What we're doing right now just isn't working. And to rely on another team to hopefully be worse than us, it's not going to keep us up. So let's try and end on a positive then. Newcastle, we beat Newcastle. We're going in the right direction. Yeah. So let's hopefully we can regroup and focus on some sort of positive. And just hopefully we can do it. So can I grab a score prediction from you?
Why not? You know what? I said a 2-0 defeat last week, Thursday, whenever it was. Yeah. I'm going to go for a 3-1 victory. Why not?
Oh my God.
Davis is going to get a goal because I feel that after seeing that. Because the thing is, you could see Smith was furious during the water break.
Yeah.
You know, it was evident there to see. So whether those players are just not listening to him. Because, you know, I'm under no illusion. Smith knows what he's doing, okay? Yeah. He's a good football manager. At the end of the day, he's a good football manager. And he knows best than most of the Villa fans out there. Yeah. So, it was plain to see that Grealish wasn't in the game enough. Whether he pushes him closer up to Keenan Davis, because we'd lump the ball forward and Keenan Davis would get onto it. And then he'd have to wait 3-4 seconds for anyone in a claret and blue shirt to get near him.
Yeah.
So if we get Grealish closer up to Keenan Davis and then El Ghazi running off him and that front three then becomes more fluid up top, we can cause Newcastle a lot of problems. They're there to be got at today because Sheffield United were really poor.
That was a worry as well, though, wasn't it? That they were really poor. We should have hopefully got some, but we didn't. Anyway, thank you.
Looking more like 2 points dropped.
Yes, definitely. Thanks for your call, mate.
No worries.
Speak to you soon. Bye. Sorry if that was a little bit too negative, but I just feel, like we've just discussed with all the calls, a little bit disappointed. But I think that's just because I know deep down we can offer more and we can play a lot better than that. And I know the position that we're in, and we all love Aston Villa and we want to climb out the relegation zone. But things have got to change. Those performances have got to get better and we've got to offer a lot more. So hopefully moving into the Newcastle game, we can be a little bit more attacking, closer to Davies and be a lot more of a threat. Defensively, we look better. The shape looks better, but we just need a massive performance and to be at it from the first whistle into injury time. So all the callers have been great. Thank you, Ben, for designing the logo and working really hard on it. You're a legend, and thank you to all the callers. If you want to get involved, drop me a message. This is what we're all about, having you on board, having your opinions. If you've got something to say, then you can just pop on and say it as well. So like, subscribe, and get following on all the Twitter channels as well. Up the Villa.